your legs on muscle snatch. Legs. And then overhead squat.
Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing well. I'm on the way home from my workout today, and today did not really go too bad or really too well. I just came in, I'm not really particularly tired. I guess physically I'm kind of tired based on the work that I've done this week. The fatigue has kind of accumulated in a way that did not allow me to really feel like doing all the work that I had planned, which I mean, it does suck because I like doing all the stuff I have planned, but it's one of those things where I don't think I really planned the structure of my program well enough to account for the different forms of fatigue that I would be accumulating in different parts of my body. So I bench pressed yesterday, and that all went well, but because of the fatigue on my shoulders and triceps and chest, the snatches today did not go as well as I would like, and all the fatigue from my quads from doing the squats earlier this week also affected the snatches, which, I mean, they didn't even go bad, they just weren't, I wasn't able to go as high as I would like. I failed 195 twice, but I was able to do 185. It was just more difficult than I would have liked, muscular-wise, and then I didn't do the squats today that I had planned, just because I just really didn't feel like it, and I had face pulls on there too, but instead of doing that, I did some behind the neck press, did those and snatches a little bit, and that was really about it. Like I said, I want to plan better with the fatigue management of different systems and figure out what's going to be beneficial for me to do after a day that's heavy in a certain way. So if I do a heavy squat day, perhaps the next day is a shoulder focused day, maybe with jerks or strict press or something that is less strenuous on the legs. Not so much that I physically can't go through that motion. It's never really been that with anything, but just not as explosive or as powerful or as strong as I would like to be within those movements. And if I do go through those movements, to do them in a way that's caveated in a way that will account for that fatigue that has been accumulated through the different days. So I have to go and reassess that. I mean, like, I'm really happy with how the week's gone as far as my different lifts. Not really upset about that or anything, really. It's just, you know, one of those days that just not everything went perfect. And those are going to happen every once in a while. But I think it's less of a result of just like, you know, a bad day at school or anything external to me. I think it's 100% my fault, and it's from, like I said, the lack of development of or I guess not accounting for the fatigue that I would be accumulating in different ways in different muscle systems. So it's something that I'm thinking on the way back that would be a way to account for the fatigue that I accumulate, that if I do a bunch of chest and shoulder stuff, that the next day perhaps I do pulling. So in that sense, if my shoulders are really fatigued, the pulling won't really be affected. So if I'm doing snatch pulls, I'm still working my shoulders, but it's definitely more of a quad dominant lift or a posterior chain dominant lift. One of those, basically everything but the shoulders. Obviously the shoulders still work at the top of the motion, but if I can't do, you know, a really powerful shrug or something, it's not going to limit me in how much I can do with a pull. So that would be one thing that I would be able to do. Say I did the bench press yesterday, what I would change with the next week is doing pulls the next day, because those aren't really going to be you know, fatigue from previous work on the previous day, but they're going to, or well, not really, but they're just going to be able to go better than other things would. And trying to think of how I want to caveat the squats. Perhaps actually stick with the percentages. I went a bit heavier than I would have liked on both days instead of just on one of them. Have one day where I go to a heavy-ish single and develop that percentage, and then one day where I go to a lower percentage but still relatively high percentage, or just less volume, and just figure that out a little bit. And since I'm doing my own programming, it's not going to be perfect, but I'm trying to listen to what my body's saying. My body was saying today that did not want to do a bunch of work, and hopefully it feels better tomorrow. Because I didn't do a ton of volume today, it ended up being kind of a deloady type day. So I'm hoping that tomorrow will go a bit better. I may make some adjustments. Tomorrow was supposed to be heavy singles, but I won't be doing those for sure. So I may just do a bunch of volume in different ways that feel good, but we'll see about that. I'm kind of thinking about doing a snatch grip deadlift, but I'm not sure. May want to let my back rest a little bit. So we'll see how I feel tomorrow and see what I come up with. But with all that being said, I will talk to you either later today or tomorrow. Hope you're all having a great day.